What's up, my fitness people? Today I have a workout for you. And start with a warm-up. We have 4 exercises in our warm-up, and our warm-up is gonna be 1 minute per exercise. Don't really give yourself a break in between. You're just gonna move right from one exercise to the next. Okay, so the first is arm circles. I'm gonna have my palms up. Nice big circles, moving forward. Nice big circles, moving backward, bringing them back to small. You can throw in some arm hugs if you'd like to as well, okay? The next exercise as part of our warm-up are hip circles. So I'm gonna have a nice wide stance and chest is up nice and tall, okay? And just moving through a nice big range of motion through the hips, okay? About 30 seconds one direction, 30 seconds the other direction. Okay, the third on our warm-up exercise is a deep squat shift. Okay, so hands come up, I'm bringing my hands in between my toes, and I'm sliding down into a nice deep squat position, and we're just shifting our weight side to side. Okay, so whatever feels comfortable for you for this. Maybe you've got great mobility and you can kind of sit down into this deep squat position and pop your shoulders up nice and tall. Maybe you need to kind of shift your weight around to the balls of your feet. Whatever feels good for you to kind of get those hips opened up, okay? And popping back up, okay? The last exercise in our warm-up is called a 3-way lunge, okay? Make sure I have enough room here. I'm gonna take a nice big step forward. I'm gonna come to an insole lunge. So I'm gonna bring my hand to the insole of my foot. I'm gonna open up towards my knee that's forward, okay? I'm going to shift my weight back onto this back hip, popping that toe up for a nice hamstring stretch, okay? So a nice big step forward, hands to the insole, open up, and pop that weight back so I get a nice hamstring stretch, okay? As many of those as you can get within the 1 minute, okay? Once you're done with that, you're ready to start the workout. This workout will be in supersets. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 exercises and rotate through 3 sets each, and then we'll move to the next superset. So our first superset is a single arm snatch. You can use a dumbbell, you could use a kettlebell, either one is totally fine, okay? You have 1 dumbbell or 1 kettlebell, okay? You can have this hand on your hip, and I wanna have a nice erect posture, so shoulders are back and down, chest is out, kind of sticking my butt out a little bit too while I'm at it, okay? And I'm gonna hinge forward from the hips. My feet are shoulder width apart. You can either let this weight slide down your quad, or some people like to set it in the middle of their legs. Either one is totally fine, okay? So from this position, I wanna hinge forward, down to this position, wherever is a good stretch for your hamstrings. I don't have great mobility, so this is about as far as I can go down before compromising position, okay? So from here, I'm gonna slide that weight down and I'm gonna drive that elbow up and push that weight up. So let's see it a little bit faster. So from here, I'm gonna drive up, okay? I wanna pull that elbow up high as I reach that triple extension, okay? So that is the single arm snatch. You're gonna do 8 each side. Next, we're gonna move to a Spider-Man plank. And we'll do 3 sets with the Spider-Man plank as well. So for the Spider-Man plank, you're coming down to the ground. You can either be on your hands or you can be down on your forearms, whichever is more comfortable for you. I think this is a little bit easier to do it from your hands. Okay, so from this position, I've got my shoulders, hips, ankles, all in a nice straight line, and I'm pulling that knee towards my elbow. So you know me, I'm sneaking in a little bit of hip mobility, a little bit of range of motion there while activating the core. A great muscle for the cyclists of the world, you triathletes out there that have habitually tight hip flexors. Let's get those hips opened up a little bit. Okay, so those 2 exercises we're going to go back and forth with 3 sets through, or 3 sets of each, okay? The next superset that we're gonna do is a depth jump, and a staggered stance RDL, okay? So for the depth jump, I'm gonna come up onto my bench, okay? And it doesn't matter which foot you lead with. You're gonna lead off of the bench. You're gonna kind of let yourself fall off the bench, and you're gonna explode up right away. Okay, so we want good reaction time. Maybe you're wondering, like, why does an endurance athlete need to be doing power types of exercise? Research is actually showing that utilizing some of those fast twitch muscle fibers will actually help you improve your performance as endurance athletes. Okay, so I'll show you one more time. Lean that foot off the edge. Let yourself fall, and then you want to react and jump as fast as you can for that depth jump. You don't need to hurry in between reps for that. Just walk around to the back of your bench or whatever you're using to suspend yourself and take your time through each of those. Try to make them as quality as you can. Once you hit that ground, react right away, jumping up, okay? The next exercise in this superset is a staggered stance RDL, okay? You'll have shoes on when you do this workout. However, I don't. So watch my feet and how I get this position. So I start with my feet next to each other. I'm gonna move my foot 1 foot length out, 1 foot length back. Okay, so I've got this nice staggered stance. I have my weight in whatever foot is on the back, okay? A nice erect posture again, same thing as when we did the snatch. And I'm gonna hinge from the hips and let that weight slide down my leg and back up. Okay, so from the side, you can see, move my foot back. And I really wanna focus my weight on this front foot, okay? This front foot is really the hamstring that I'm challenging, okay? So that's our staggered stance RDL. Make sure you do both legs with that. And you're gonna do 3 rounds through between the depth jump and the RDLs. And next we're moving on to our final superset. And this superset has 3 exercises. The first is a goblet squat press. So I'm holding the weight here on the heels of my hands. My feet are slightly wider than shoulder width, toes are pointed slightly out. I'm gonna sit myself down into a nice deep squat. And then I'm gonna push up and push up, okay? So a nice squat, shoulders are up and drive up, okay? So that is our goblet squat press. This is a 3 set here, so I've got 3 exercises in this superset, okay? The next is a decline push-up. So I'm gonna put my feet on top of the bench and hands are out in front, nice and flat, just wider than shoulder width. Hips, shoulders, ankles all in a nice straight line. Slow and controlled. I'm bringing myself down. And breathe out as you push yourself back up, okay? If those are too challenging for you, the decline push-ups, you can just do a modified push-up as well from my knees here and lowering myself down. Breathe out as I push back up, okay? And then that will also go along with our bent over dumbbell row. So I have 2 dumbbells. I'm going to that hip hinge position where my chest is up, knees are slightly bent. I'm gonna slide those weights down my knees and squeezing those shoulder blades together and back down. Okay, so from this direction, again, nice hip hinge position, squeeze those shoulder blades and back down. Okay, and then I've got a couple different static stretches for you. Okay, so the first is just a seated forward fold. We'll do 30 seconds per static stretch here at the end. So it's not that long, so don't skip it, okay? Hands come up overhead. I'm reaching straight forward, reaching for those toes and holding for 30 seconds here, okay? Next, I've got a glute circle. So I'm gonna lie on my back, 30 seconds, pulling those knees in towards my chest, opening up this way. So do 30 seconds, I guess, would you call that clockwise or whatever? And then 30 seconds the other direction. Next, we have a seated twist. So you can start with a knee hug here for your first half. And if this feels good and this feels easy, then you can come across with that elbow and add that twist into the situation. Okay, 30 seconds each side for this. And then the last exercise is a rainbow child's pose. Okay, so for this, I want my knees out, my toes are together, sitting my weight on my back onto my heels here. And basically I want to move through a rainbow range of motion. So I'm going to go here, 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 and here. Just moving nice and slow through that full range of motion so that we're really trying to hit some of those different muscle fibers in our back as we move through each of these positions. So again, about 30 seconds total, but try to hit each of those positions and hold for a couple seconds. Okay, so we're going to start here. And there you have it, my friends. There is your power development workout. Hope you have a great day. See you next time.